Quick one for the builders and tradies out there. It's BAS time, which means a lot of money is going out the door. What if I told you that you can actually benefit from making these payments? This month's Good Builder podcast sponsor, pay.com.au, is all about making your payments work harder. Pay.com.au is a rewards program that allows you to earn pay rewards not only on BAS, but all your business expenses. You can then use those points for trips, gift cards, and heaps more. And for our Good Builder audience, when you use the code GOOD20, you'll receive 20,000 bonus points when you sign up. Terms and conditions do apply, so you must go to pay.com.au/TGB and find out more. Make your payments, earn points. It's pretty simple. Good morning and welcome to the Good Builder podcast. Today's episode is a bloody boomer. I wanted this guy on the podcast ever since I met him in Sydney, and he is an absolute weapon. And I have dubbed him the new breed of builder for a lot of reasons. He's fantastic at what he does. He educates the whole community. He knows technology. You should have seen this chat that we had in Sydney with him and one of the biggest builders in Queensland. And Greg McGee, I love you, mate. But he turned around. He's like, I'm just an old fella and you're the new guy to the game. And, I love what you do, but I can't keep up. So he's gone on and he's kind of gone, it's a younger man's game. It's starting to go into a different realm. So it's very cool. So today I have an absolute legend. You probably follow him already. He's got more followers than us here at Good Builder. And his name's Kyle Zanetto. How are you, mate?
Going well, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for having me on. And it's awesome to reconnect after our catch up in Sydney. So pleasure to be here, mate.
Yeah, it's been too long, mate. I'll tell you, I was so close to flying to Tasmania to see you, and I'm not kidding. Like, I think I'm going to come down this year because I am so impressed with what you do. I want to spend some face time with you. I want to see some of your projects, maybe some of that tech stuff you show on your socials. Sorry, and I just think it's good to expose people like you out there to our community and to the entire industry, because I think I say it a bit on the podcast, man. It's like I've never jumped in an industry where the actual people doing the work and making the stuff happen create the stuff as well, create a better industry. And you are definitely one of them, man. And, I think I skipped over the intro, Young Builder of the Year, Tasmanian Young Builder of the Year, all this stuff that you've done. Yeah. So I just wanted you on the pod and sort of talk to you about where did it all come from, Kyle? Like, where did this drive for excellence? Where did this passion to help people? Like, what happened to you along the way of your life?
Yeah. So I guess to start the start, I was pretty fortunate that I grew up around business. My old man runs a fairly large business and worked pretty hard, and I sort of had all these influential people around me. But for me, I never grew up like wanting to be a builder. I sort of fell into it
Right.
in the early stages. And then my personality type, I think I did another disc analysis the other day, is like, I think it was like 98% red. It's just like super high functioning, like output focused, quite direct with everything I do. I don't really have much sort of like patience for things being slow. And I think that just the way that I'm wired and built is what drives me with anything I do, whether it was football, bodybuilding, business, on the tools. I'm just flat out. Like
Yeah.
everything I do is go, go.
I could see that. And that was the thing too. Like, I love the gym myself. And when I met you, I'm like, any dude that's in that sort of shape, runs a business that big, he's a disciplined man, and he's not afraid of hard work. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry, I probably should cut this bit, but no homo. But like you seriously, you're built, man, to do that. The discipline to even achieve that. Like, I used to be involved in bodybuilding's a hard thing. And then on top of that, running Future Builder Co., a highly successful building coaching business, plus your highly successful construction company. I was just infatuated with you, man. I was just like, how does he do it? Because I'm just trying to do the good builder and I'm struggling, bro.
I was talking to I've got my partner and her brother and partner down from Germany at the moment, and giving a bit of a rundown on my bodybuilding history. And like you said, back when I was heavily into bodybuilding 6, 7, 8 years ago, when business was overwhelming, my routine would be up at 4. It'd be the pre-shake before the cardio and the accessory muscle workout, meal at 7 or 6:30, off to work from 7 till 4 on the tools. You're eating sort of 3 or 4 meals in that. As you know, if you're bodybuilding, you gotta get your 6, 7, 8,000 calories in.
Yeah.
And then you're into your afternoon session at 5 till 6, you're eating again, and then you're on the computer from 6 to 11. And I did that back to back for years. And that was sorta
Really?
oh, yeah, like when I was doing, competition prep through
Competing,
COVID,
yeah.
shows kept getting cancelled at like 8 weeks out. Yeah, so I back to
What?
back for, yeah, probably a year and a half. Plus, that's when my business wasn't a business. It was a builder trying to be a business owner, and shit was just falling in a heap.
Yeah.
And that ultimately is what led to my sort of biggest failure and my burnout and crash in business. And that was when I dove into the business coaching and professional development space really hard. So it was that
Yeah.
it was that point in my life that sort of turned me around, and then I went on the
Wow.
different direction.
Mate, that's so cool that you're so open about, got hard and stuff like that. And thank God you got into educating builders because this is not your opinion. This is my opinion, mate. And I sort of said it to you offline. But man, I'm worried sometimes for the building industry because I think there's some great marketers out there that are trying to be builder coaches. And there's
Yeah.
a particular one that approaches us, and I'll be pretty open with this. I won't say their name because we don't do that. We try and be really positive about the industry, but this particular gentleman, he's got a big organization. A lot of people go and a lot of builders talk to him and do his course. He's never built a home in his life. He's a digital marketing guy with a website degree or something, and
Yeah.
he's trying to tell builders how to build. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I just see these constant Facebook ads and things like that. And I'm like, he must have a lot of churn because he's got more builders in because they don't get any value and they go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, it's like, I've seen some of his stuff and they sent it over and sent over a bit of the portal for us to assess. And your socials are deeper than his actual course. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this dude, Kyle Zanetto, freaking legend, is just pretty much giving it away on his socials. There's a lot more to it, obviously, but like giving it away compared to what these guys are giving, and they're trying to charge you like 2 grand a month. And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, and I think, like, I've paid for a lot of platforms, a lot of programs, and I think everyone has a certain amount of value to add. But for me, it's just like if I'm in the trenches with all the other lads on the ground running, building businesses, and every month I'm learning something new that I can pass through the industry, like that's where the value is. And yes, we run ads, etc., as every business needs to, but
Yeah,
me, my marketing is, hey, I'm here with you. This is how I'm doing it. This is where I fucked up. This is what we're learning. If you want to come and join us, here's the value. Here's the costs. This is what you'll get for it. I'm
yeah,
gonna get beside you, but I'm never gonna use an ad to sell something that I can't deliver on. And I think in
yeah.
future, from every single person, we've got positive reviews, 5 stars reviews all over Google. Everyone loves what we built because it's genuine. It's about like real life scenarios being put into play.
Yeah, well, if anyone even checked out the builds that you take on, mate, I don't think there's many builders that would like to take on the builds that you do. Like the skills there, the craftsmanship's there. And then the other thing, I'm not trying to back up your claim, Kyle, but we've had a few of your builders on our couch here, and I would have loved to have you here as well. But we've had a few builders of yours on our couch, and they rave about like this is basically the crux of the conversation of what they say to me. I don't know what you do. I've never looked under I've looked at I know what you do. I haven't looked at Future Builder Co. or anything like that. But there are two very good builders here in Queensland. One being Just One, and he's part of your course, Jimmy, there at Penelope Homes. He just won the Young
Yeah.
Builder of the Year in Queensland or Innovation or something like that. I forget. I'm sorry, Jimmy, but we did have a podcast. But he said to me, he's like, Kyle's just like opened up his business and gone, this is how we do it. And it's like, from estimating, everything is in there. And it's just like you walk in and it's done for you and he understands it and he can explain it. And that's cool, man. Like to do that is like so selfless. And because the other thing is that you took years. I'm sorry, I'm not even asking questions anymore. I think I'm just
Go for it.
freaking validating you. I don't know what I'm doing here, man. I'm just so excited to talk to you. But like, uh, and like you came up with this IP over years, Kyle, through mistakes and experiences and that sort of thing. And yeah, so what sort of drove you, and how did some of the stuff in the early years that you learned or went through kind of go, hey man, I want to actually help these builders out there. I wanna be someone different.
Yeah, yeah, and I can't take all the credit. Luke from Davies Construction, my co-founder and other business owner, he's an absolute genius. So, what drove me, it was the fact that the industry is quite flawed. So you've probably heard it before, but the journey of any sort of building business owner is you're in high school, you want to go work with the lads, so you go get an apprenticeship. For me, I wound up in building. You go and finish your apprenticeship, and then you go and go, oh, well, I'm going to either be a subcontractor or go and get my certificate for, and then I'm going to start my own business.
Mm.
So you go through that journey, you start your own business, you start mixing up all these different jobs. Year one goes pretty easy. Year two goes pretty easy. And then year three, the tax man and all that other shit catches up and you go, holy crap.
It's bad.
It's usually year three or four is when builders like that lag point catches up and you go, okay, I don't actually know what the hell I'm doing. So for me, it was, yeah, 2017, I kicked off. 2020, it caught up to me.
Wow.
End of 2020 went through a lot of like mental health and breakdown issues and lost a crap load of money, even though I was working more hours than I ever had. And that was when I sort of flipped the switch and I said, if I don't do something now, I'm going to not be in a good place, which I knew I wasn't. So I actually turned around and invested in three different business coaches all in the same month. And I just went from nothing to three. And then from that point on, I was just obsessed with learning because I knew if whether it was mindset, marketing, business, building, whatever it was, if I'd spent $1,000 or $2,000 a month, the value that I could get out of that person because of their industry knowledge could be 10, 20, 100 times that. For me, I just spent the next, what's that now, 6 years pretty well about $200,000 I've invested in professional development, not including thousands of hours of podcasts and all that stuff. And every single thing I learn, I run it through my own business. I test it in a real life scenario. And if it works, or even if it doesn't work, I'll be like, hey, this doesn't fucking work. Don't do this. Or, hey, this is how we've got everything so dialed at the moment. And
Wow.
then all of my Zoom calls, mate, I'll open up my business, all my P&Ls, all of my sales funnels, everything. And I'll just be like, this is it. Like, this is where we lost. This is where we're hitting our net margins. And this is exactly what I'm doing.
Oh.
Give me your email address. I'll send it all to you. And then if you join Future Builder, I'll show you how to do it. So you can
Oh.
pick all that up, hundreds of documents, all the estimating templates, every spreadsheet and anything I've built on day one.
Far out. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm hearing, Kyle. Like,
Yeah.
you're not
Well, yeah.
you just
Me, because I, yeah,
like
because I
to do
seen them
that.
up. Well, it's based on lived experience. So I went and invested a lot in a lot of coaches, but each platform that I love, because I loved everyone I invested in, they all had flaws. So then when
Yeah,
the idea come about between myself and Luke was, all right, we've both done a lot of professional development. Let's look at what worked and what didn't work, and then look at what builders need. So a
yeah,
builder, typically a high functioning, stressed, probably got ADHD type of person, getting dragged in and out of operations. So what they want is a plug and play business model that they know works. They don't want to have to listen to a 1 hour video and then go and build a spreadsheet and then try and figure it out through implementation. They want to go, Kyle fucked up. This is what he's built. He shows us how it works. We can plug it in. It will work straight away for us. And that's the
yeah.
implementation that we like to use at Future Builder.
Yeah. Well, that's the key. It is certainly the key. And that's what I saw in the stuff that you do and what I'm being told about with Future Builder Co. We'll put the link in the bottom if you don't mind, Kyle, for people to go and check it out. And I really recommend that you guys out there do. But yeah, like I saw how deep you go. And then as I said, I'd been to some other coaches and I remember I went into one and on the Gold Coast, there was a certain convention. If you look back on my socials, you know who it is, but I won't say their name. But I went in there and there were probably 100, 200 builders, and they were talking about websites. And it was something like he got up and he was like, "This is a bad website," and that was about it. There was not, "This is a good website. This is how you do it. This is this." And I was standing there because I've got a bit of a digital background, and I was like, "Man, I want to jump on stage and say something." Like, oh, I had to hold myself back. I'm like, "You are paying to talk, see this guy put up a shit website and you go, this is a bad website." And everyone in the crowd, you can see their face. They're all going, well, what's a good website? Like, how do we do it? No
I'll show
one's telling them.
you.
And I was like, you guys just paid $4,000 for a weekend. Then I would have just gone to the casino across the road and blew it. You would have made more money than going to this course.
The websites are huge. Like I literally launched my new website yesterday. So I rebuild my website constantly. It never stops getting
I
built.
can see that.
And then we try and build a website to educate our clients around who we are, what we do, and why we do it. So when a client goes to my website, you've got 3 to 5 seconds to capture their attention. Typically, they'll go from the landing page into projects to see what you do. Then, if they like what you do, they're going to look at how you do it. That's when I've got pricing guidelines and how we sort of work through qualifying budget estimates and final build pricing with our open book methodology. Then they're going to steer through into typically like your awards page to get your credibility and look at your trade
Yeah.
partners. Then it's through to your client application. On my client application, it's like big orange letters, attention. Before you fill in this form, just know that we only work exclusively. We don't tender against other builders. I price open book, so I will show you every single quote that I get.
See that, yeah.
I'm showing my markup margin and my expected net profit. When you fill this form in, I'm looking for 30% of the build value in cash or cash equity combination for me to work with you, because I know if it's going to the bank and we're going in at 20% LMI, there's going to be a bank vow, which will be conservative, and it's going to fall over due to finance. And that is how we make sure that when someone comes in, let's say it's 50 leads a month, 2 of them are qualified, for example. And that's
Oh,
where we get
yeah.
the statistics on marketing spend and conversion. So it's
I'll tell you
all
what,
got to
Carl.
be structured.
I'll tell you what, mate. I used to be the national or international marketing manager for GJ Gardner Homes. You do a better job than I did. I'm
I'm
not
like,
lying, man. I'm not lying. Like the way you understood the whole journey, the way a customer works, how you qualify a customer. So, you only work with people you want to work with, mate. And what you explained just then, they would have paid $8,000 for that 5 minutes if they paid $4,000 for those 2 days for this idiot. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like your staff right then was freaking cool,
But it's so
And that's why I wanted you on the pod and to expose you to our audience. Like, I've actually got a couple of guys coming at me for a website, and I don't do websites anymore, or that sort of thing, or asking around digital. Like, I really recommend they talk to you and start like just get into the course of Future Builder Co. and just start to understand how you set foundations for your business.
I wrote a course on my website and why I have every single page in there and how it
Yeah.
works, how it stacks. Because I think that everyone overcomplicates building. You've just got to position your entire business as if you're the customer. And I know for me, I
Wow.
like to know where every single dollar goes. So if I'm going to go and save up for 30 years, $2 million, and we're going to go and invest that into a builder, I just want to trust them. And if I'm going to
Yeah.
if I get a quote, I don't want to see just a big lump sum at the bottom. I want to see what everything costs, because then I can see that it stacks out to be that number.
Yeah.
And that's it. And
Wow.
that's why when I deliver quotes to my clients, I open up my Wonder Build. I'm like, hey guys, we're sitting at 3 million bucks. Of that 3 million, here's our GST, here's my overhead percentage, my markup. I'm going into gross, say 650 and net 300. That's my target. Here's my data on how we're hitting our averages at the moment. Here's how I estimate labor, materials, and subs. So I finish my proposals and I'm like, you got any questions? They're like you've answered them all. And that's the key to open book delivery, just building trust
Mate,
and pricing fair. You've got to be fair.
if you want the keys to the good builder, you can have them.
I've got enough on my
You probably
plate.
don't want to be sitting on a podcast couch like me all day because you got things to do and homes to build and you enjoy that side of things. But you are the good builder personified. Like that is exactly what we're trying to do. Educate the builders so they protect themselves, so they know how to do business. Hey, that was so freaking cool. Like,
Yeah.
appreciate you being so open on this podcast with your information. I just wanted to introduce you, but there's a lot of education in this podcast for the builders out there. But mate, beyond just knowing a lot of stuff and being very good at it, you're into the passive house and performance homes. You're quite, into that sort of side of things. At what point did you sort of start to look at that side of things and think about the long term outcome of your building and sort of see that that's the sort of way your business wanted to go, rather than deal with some of the project builders and things?
Yeah. So I think my early exposure was obviously through YouTube, through like Matty Reisinger. I think most builders, if you're growing up looking into building, you probably have followed or seen his work. And then after that, through Instagram, was probably when I connected with Hamish from Sanctum Homes and like Matty Carlin and guys like that. It was sort of, I would say, at the forefront on Instagram, for example, for actually bringing better building practices to Australia. So for me, it was following along them. And then I was lucky I had a couple guys working for me who were quite passionate about building as well. And then I just looked at, for me, like I want to build a legacy company that lasts 100 years. And I know that
That's
the
cool.
fundamentals around a long lasting company is homes that don't have issues. So if you were to go on Google and just type in what are the most common issues that homes have, it's typically like 90% of a home has water ingress, WRB, windows, vapor control and mold, or failing bathrooms.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, all right, let's start with the first thing first. Let's just wrap our homes well and
Yeah.
ventilate the facade, so the roof and wall system. And then I think that was in 2020 or 2021, we introduced the ProClimate WRB system as our minimum acceptable standard. So it was no longer an option. It was just this is what we do, this is our product, and this is why we do it. It's like the extra 5, 10, $15,000 you might put into that membrane. That's going to be a lot more value than your home building insurance, for example, on the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it started with just the WRB, which was just risk reduction for my company and future proofing it. And then it flowed through into more education around building healthier homes. And that was when we started looking into passive house and learning about all that. And then now probably 15 to 20% of our homes are in that sort of high performance, healthy home space.
Mate. Yeah, do you have a business degree, Kyle, or anything, or is this all learn on the job, mate? I'm just wondering because the way you're talking, like the marketing side of things, the website side of things, I could name 10 marketers that couldn't describe what a website does like you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm like, but you're a builder. No
I've listened
offense.
to
I
thousands
wish
of
I was a
hours
builder.
of podcasts. So I think I've
Okay.
done 900 episodes of The Game by Alex Hormozi, so I've done a lot of work
You know the
there.
game.
The Game, yep, done all of the Stephen Bartlett stuff, Driver CEO, and then, yeah, I'll just spend all my time, like, all of my books above me and at home, they're all business, marketing, understanding financials. That's all I do. Like, you won't see
Wow.
me reading something that's not business related.
Yeah. You just have that nature in you. You just have that not obsession, but almost an
It's
obsession
an obsession.
for
You can say,
perfection, you know? I can see it in you, man. It's cool. I
yeah.
love when I meet guys like you that, like the rest of the world will go and build a house and, it's just you build the house and it's like a widget and you give it away and it's done. You are like, how do we take this whole thing to the next level every day? How do we get a little bit better so that, like you said, and I've seen it on your socials, our homes last 100 years, all that sort of thing. I love when you say that, man. I'm on the Sunshine Coast. We've got lots of developments up here with lots of big major builders, big volume builders. I went to a site the other day, Kyle, and I was talking to the chippy there, and he's like, "Don't fucking talk to me." And I was like, "Why not? Don't you like the good builder?" And he's like, "No, no, no. I know the good builder. You're cool, but I would never show you around this house. If you took a peek behind these walls, there's probably already mold."
Mm. And there's a market for everyone, a bit like there is for cars. I think, yeah, there's passive house and all this sort of thing, but the ultimate sustainability is not to build homes that last 30 years, it's to build homes that last 100 years. It won't matter um, how efficient your home is. If you're knocking it down and rebuilding it, two and a
Yeah,
half times quicker, that's where the gains are made. So, but
absolutely, mate.
the
Nah,
market's price driven. So,
very cool, man.
mm,
Very cool. There's a few things that I'm impressed with you, but the other thing that I'm very impressed with you about, Kyle, is your understanding of technology. And I think I started the podcast with, and I've described you a few times on social. I'm so sorry, and I hope you don't mind the name, but I call you the new breed of builder.
I like
And and I think it's because I used to like rap music and G Unit. 50 Cent G Unit had this thing, and it was called the new breed. And I was always like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then when I met you in Sydney, I'm like, I don't know if you remind me of G Unit, but I was like, man, this is the new breed of builder. And I thought that was fairly cool. But yeah, I love how you, as I said, you're sharing your posts with Claude and Wonder Build and all the things that you're doing there. But where do you actually see technology going, and where do you see the most value builders can get out of technology in their business?
it is crazy. So technology is leverage, the way I look at it. And the thing about leverage, it's like you imagine you got a flat tire on your car and you go and try and pick that car up by yourself. You can't do it, can you? But
No.
if you whip out a long arm jack, you can use half the amount of force and pick the car up. So leverage in business is coming through technology now. And I think I ran you through an example this morning. So I'll touch on it quickly. I had a builder come to me who's a good friend of mine, probably one of the best builders in Australia, like hands on. But when it comes to business, because he's so good on site, off site lacks. So we caught up this morning. We spent an hour on Zoom. He shared me his whole filing system for this job. Filing system was a mess. Estimate was all done in Excel. plans are all over the place, just exactly like I was when I was on the tools full time. It's just to be expected. Quite a difficult job, like a very, very technical job. I said, all right, we need to get you into an operating system. So I downloaded the entire file. I opened up my Claude. I extracted all of the documentation in there. I pulled in all of my job data, my Wonderbuild template in XLS format from a previous job. And I basically just dictated to it using Whisper, which for anyone that's sick of typing, get Whisper on your device and just talk to your computer. That's the way of the future.
You got me into Whisper.
Whisper's unreal.
I'm on
Um,
it.
and then by the end of the meeting, I just sent him a $2.8 million proposal with 100 categories with every piece of his data broken down across 30 labor categories and then 70 fixed material and subcontractor categories. And now he'll actually be able to set up and log his direct time to each of the estimated labor categories at true
Bloody
company
hell.
costs. And that was something that if I wanted to do it manually, I'd say 4 weeks, 5 weeks, which is now down to an hour.
Oh, mate, that
And
is phenomenal.
yeah, and this is based on data. So obviously, the more data you have to go in, the better the results coming out. But for me now, we also had the chat before. I was relying on a lot of external estimators to do all of my qualifying budget estimates. They're typically rate pulled from an industry standard that's got no relevance to my business. That's presented to me in a format that once it's used, it goes in the bin. So for
Yeah.
me, I said, I don't want something that's used and then scrapped. I want to have something that can be built upon, like a V1, V2, V3 estimate
Wow.
state. So now what we're doing, which is the video you saw, I basically took all of my completed homes, all of my estimated homes, all of my
Yeah.
homes. I put all that data into Claude and built the same XLS Wonderbuild export format. And now all I do is drop in the plans, and within 3 to 5 minutes, I can import the XLS and I've got
Wow.
a fully detailed 100 category budget estimate based on my build
Gee,
data.
bloody hell, mate.
Yeah.
And like I said, sorry, go.
Oh, and that was probably a 6 to 8 hour task for me on a Saturday typically, so I can get a deep flow with estimating. And now it's a 15-minute task, and the data is based on previous jobs, not me guessing allowances.
Wow,
Yeah.
mate. And we'll put the link to the post below, guys. That was, yeah, me and Kyle had a chat offline before we got on, and I was just saying how impressed I was with that. You guys should see it. And so, like, how much time do you sort of estimate that you save yourself each week just using tech? Because Jimmy, for example, who was on the couch before, he said to me he reckons he's freed up, I don't know, 10 to 20 hours a week just now, and I don't think he's even scraped the surface. Like, he's just trying to figure his way out, like, obviously with you and that sort of thing, but, he reckons there's more upside to it.
Yeah, so I typically have 3 or 4 different AI tools doing different things consecutively. So I might have
Oh,
two
wow.
Claude tabs open running different spreadsheets or different calculations. I might have ChatGPT building out, I know, like rewriting an email or building a document for a script, for example. But for me, let's say I used to do a contract estimate would take me 100 to 150 hours using like my system, my labor, outsourcing materials to an estimator, etc. I can do a $2 to $3 million house in around 10 to 12 hours of my invested time now with like a
Wow.
contract revision. So that's sort of what we're working with. The qualifying budget estimates from 6 to 8 hours down to 15 minutes. So that's a huge time saver. And then the fact that I'm trying not to type on my keyboard at all and everything is talk to text through like a Whisper or some type of app like that with some automatic formatting. Just plugging those few things in is insane. Yeah.
That's cool.
And
Bloody
then
hell.
you've obviously got like all your meeting recorders and all your notes and all your AI agents you can build in to summarize and allocate tasks and stuff. So it's
Mate.
pretty insane.
That's absolutely crazy, Cole. Like, you're across so much in the building, like, to be a builder and have a successful business like you, this is why I think you're, nuts in a good way. I don't mean it in a good way, Carl, because you're a big
Just
dude.
that
I don't
way.
want you to take me out next time I see you. You're a good dude. But like, you've got Future Builder Co. That's massive. You've got the Zenetto builder stuff, and then you're across AI. Like, just keeping up with AI itself is pretty hard in itself, and that's why I think a lot of builders aren't using it because it is so hard to keep up about. So it is good to have someone who's got experience with it, using it in a building business. And I swear to God, if they apply it, if one thing I think builders maybe don't like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is staff. So if you can have less staff doing more things at a better cost, It's a good thing and learn from someone who is actually doing it in the wild. That's cool.
And you've hit the nail on the head as to say there. So for me, my business, I believe that I can incrementally scale the on-site operations with the same off-site teams. So for example, a business has typical levers or PIs. You might have revenue, overhead, gross, net profit, cost of goods sold, etc. So me, I know that if I can 5x my 8 offsite staff's productivity, that means that if they can get quicker, I can typically increase my on-site staff with the same management costs. So I could potentially double my revenue, half my overhead, and double or triple my net profit with the same team by increasing efficiency. And that's all I'm sort of looking at is how do we get output out of this side to cut overhead, increase gross, increase net. And that's where business is going now. And you hear all these big CEOs of 1,000 employee companies sacking hundreds of people because they just don't need them, unfortunately.
I'm blown away, eh? Just blown away by this conversation. It's so freaking cool. It's so, you look at it we talk across builders that are smaller builders up to the big guys. So I had Peter Wood from Villa Wood Homes who does all of Avid Property. They do thousands of homes a year. It's really interesting to hear you chat, mate, because you're as up on it, or maybe even more up on it than they are, which is really cool in a way for me just to listen to you because, maybe because you have to be across everything, but you've just got your head in the game, man. I think you could scale, not that you want to, but you could scale a volume builder if you wanted to, or a
Yeah,
custom builder. You know what I mean? Because volume's probably easier.
and I
So
think
I
that
love it.
the good thing about my business is it's agile. Like if I had 100-person company with all the corporate like structure offsite, whereas I can make a decision like that, I can roll it
Yeah.
through my company by sending a video and running a 1 hour session, and then we're live. So
Yeah.
we've
So
got
it's
the
better.
speed of implementation is king, and that's where the industry is
Love it.
now. How quick can you learn? How quick can you implement? And then rinse and repeat.
Yeah, love it, mate. Well, as I said, earlier in the podcast, you got more followers than we do here at the Good Builder, and rightly so. But is it always been a duty for you to? Do you feel it was a responsibility once you figured it out to actually share it? Like,
I think so, and it all stemmed off my journey. So I obviously had like a really tough point in 2020 where things crashed, life blew up,
yeah,
mental health was in a really bad point, and then I know a lot of guys going through similar, or I've just had friends go through similar, and there's a lot of suicide and suicide awareness that needs to be spoken about at the moment. So I just look at them like if I went through it, there's a lot of people other that are going through it right now. And if I can just pass on a few of those learnings and save someone from ending up where I was, that is your duty of care, I think, if you care about what you do.
yeah, that's freaking cool, man. That's cool, Carl. I'm just gonna check I didn't miss anything. Giving back industry committee. Oh, yeah, you've done a fair bit of this. The other cool thing, Carl, mate, is you're not just giving back to the building community. You give back to charities. I don't think there's something you don't do. You're even a good fisherman. I saw
I,
you on the weekend, man.
I
I
whacked
was
them. I
jealous.
whacked them.
Hey, you were doing all right, mate.
I
Fishing out there.
had two rods going and both rods were going off. I didn't know what to do.
It was crazy. I know, because I went fishing that morning and caught nothing, and then I jump on Instagram, and there you are with your dog mucking around with the phone. You've got about 6 fish on the ground about this big, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude, he's mucking around. He's got his dog. I'm there. I've got all my tackle. No one's with me. I'm out in the wild. I'm hunting this thing. Came home with nothing." But but
I
as
went
I
last
said, you can
night and
kinda
caught them. And so that's just the rule of fishing, mate. Never expect.
Yeah, I love it, mate. Well, when I head down to Tassie, I'd love to go fishing with you. But as I said, you're a bit of a weapon across a bunch of stuff, including educating the industry and giving back. But you also give back to multiple charities, and you hold multiple professional memberships, and work closely with a lot of different organisations, advising and stuff like that. What I want to know is, how do you balance everything, Carl? Do you get up at 3 a.m. in the morning and go to bed at the next day, or what do you do? How do you actually make it work?
I used to, but, no, I think, like, now my business has grown, I've gotta pay thanks to the team around me, like, if I didn't have an awesome team in Zenetto Builders, I wouldn't be able to put time into Future Builder, I'd just be stuck being burnt out like I used to be, so first bit of thanks has obviously gotta go out to them.
Mm.
Then the second one is I'm just extremely structured and disciplined. So every single day is structured. All my time blocking is set up from start to finish. I know exactly what I'm going to be working on from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. every day. And having that sort of structure in place and been able to silence the noise that typically distracts builders, like emails bouncing in and out. That's probably been a big characteristic is doing a lot of learning on time management, which I can thank Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt. Spent 2.5 years in coaching with him. He's a time
Yeah.
management master. So that was
Oh,
all.
cool.
And then, yeah, the other one is just efficiency. Like, as you can see, everything I do is done at 100% pace. I'm never dawdling through it, whether I'm washing my dog or washing my car. I'm not there just chilling. Like, it is done like I've got the
I can
clock.
see that. I love it. I'm a bit the same, and I fucking love it, mate. That's what one of the things I love about you, but sorry.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, it's just, there's always a sense of urgency. Even if I'm fishing, mate, you get a fish on, you get in, you're like, I've got to get the lure back out. Like, it just, I'm like my dog with his tennis ball, I guess. So, yeah, just efficiency and then speed of implementation. Like, if I'm picking up an idea, I'm getting it out straight away to the team and I'm looking to implement it. So, I think you stack all those characteristics up. Um, and yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah, good builder.
Do
I
my
think
best.
so, mate. Well, I've got a couple of last few questions for you, Kyle. Any advice for some young builders out there that are looking to become a builder? My advice is to join Future Builder Co. If you're looking to start a building company, I'm not being stupid here. I honestly think you should go and get some advice before you actually even start one. Have a look at setting your foundations right. You're completely correct, Kyle. I was involved in a building company on the Gold Coast here in Queensland, and it was at that second and third year where stuff hit us in the butt and we thought we were okay. So it is so important. But yeah, do you have any other advice, mate? We'll put the link below for them to have a chat to you at Future Builder Co. and your team. But yeah, what would you
Yes,
think?
there's a few different stages in the learning journey. So last year we developed a course called Base Camp, which is
Yes.
12 modules and about 60,000 scripted words that were actually scripted to be short, efficient, and shot to camera based on how to set up and run a business. So I think that before you go and start a business, go and invest in a course that teaches you the fundamentals of business. So
100%.
tax, accounting, company structure and setup, who your ideal customer is, what your brand is going to be known for, how to attract customers. So you obviously got lead generation is first and what you want to do and why you do it. And then you've got to go into once you get a job, how you make it profitable. So for me, I didn't know things like WIP or recognize revenue in advance or overheads or anything, how to figure that out. So I built a mathematical course with a spreadsheet built in that can teach everyone all the mathematics behind how to estimate and run a business. So I would say, yeah, go and spend a year before you start a company learning about business, then go and jump in. That would be how I would position the correct way to start a business these days. And if it
I agree.
goes from my experience, just invest. Like if it's $500,000, just go and spend the money, get the knowledge, and just keep doing it.
I totally agree, Kyle. It's like preemptive. Hey, you go get the advice early, and you do that year of knowing what business is all about and all that sort of thing, because you're gonna escape some of the harder lessons later on. They're gonna cost you a lot more than the investment of actually doing base camp. I 100% agree. I'm a little bit different to you, Kyle, in that I'm involved in the construction industry, was involved in the building business, but I'm a I did a marketing and business law degree. So I did the traditional path of university and everything. And then I came in and I was Kmart's marketing manager. Nothing to do with, I was selling men's undies. That's all I was doing.
You're still
Anyway,
selling
but
them, mate. You're doing your job.
I didn't even get a shoot. They didn't put me in undies. But anyway, the thing was, Carl, like when I started my business even, and I did a business degree, I found it hard.
Yeah.
Like, and let alone a builder who didn't do these other things and know about GST and know about accounting and know about all this other stuff, know about marketing, ideally getting your right customer because yeah, some of the biggest failings is getting the wrong customers and getting burnt out and then wanting to quit the industry. So I 100% agree with what you just said, Carl.
Mm. And the best
100%.
bit of advice I would give to any young builder, because I get a lot of people will come and say, I can't afford $1,000 or $2,000 a month. I'm like, print out your bank or your credit card report, run it through ChatGPT and be like, tell me how to save $1,000 a month. That's one way.
Yep.
Or every single job you price, you need to put your professional development in as a company overhead because it should be paid for by your business. It shouldn't come from your
Yep.
bottom line. So if it's people working, hours worked, out rates up by 2, 3, $4 an hour, or your markup on your job goes up. The biggest trick is getting over that hurdle that it's costing you money. It's not costing you the investment that's going to make you 10 to 20 plus times what you put into it. And the quicker you
Yeah.
do it, the more you're going to make and the less you're going to lose. It's a really simple recipe.
100% support that, Kyle. We'll put the link below, as I've said a few times. Please, guys, just check it out. I really advise you to. This is why I started the Good Builder. What I'm trying to do here, Kyle, is actually, I was like, there's no sort of, beside what you do, and I was like, there's no one out there as a media platform that's kind of consolidating all this stuff of where to find the right people to work with,
That's it.
And then, that's why we've got you on here because I'm just a conduit. I'm like, hey, this is what you should be doing. And 100% in my view, I think that would set you up for better success. So very cool, Carl.
Let me give you a little look into the future as well before we get into the next one.
Mate, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to know what you're up to in the
Mm.
future. If you have any exclusives for the Good Builder, you don't have to have exclusives
Yeah,
for the Good
so
Builder.
this will be an industry first. So this is groundbreaking news.
Yeah, boy.
Luke Davies, my business partner, and a team of developers for the last few months have been building out an app for the construction industry. So the easiest way to explain this for anyone that likes Marvel movies is you imagine you've got Iron Man and he's got Jarvis in his helmet.
Yeah.
Basically, what we've done is build an app like Jarvis that's going to centralize all of your operating systems into one space. So let's say, for example, it's zero, go high level, one to build, etc. Pull everything in. It's going to diagnose your business to give you a score or a health check, for example. And then it's actually going to have all of our embedded resources, experts, training videos, and it's actually just going to be able to tell you what to do. So that's coming. So keep an eye.
I don't know what to say. I couldn't imagine that in my wildest imagination. You know what I mean? Like, it is revolutionary. That's a like, it's something to support your business and look after you 24/7 for you. It looks
Yep.
across your entire business, and then with your philosophies and learnings and experiences and the expertise from your team. Holy shit, Carl. When did you find the time to do that, and when is this gonna be released, man?
So Luke's pretty well done most of the grunt work, but like I said before, it's all about learning. So even us at Future Builder, we're always learning. So we built hundreds of resources and hundreds of training videos. But our problem is we got all this information, but builders came in and they go, fuck, like now we're so overwhelmed. Where do we start? So we're like, all right, we need to build something that can health check someone and has all the information on
Far
where to
out.
start. And then what we'll do is everyone's data with their consent, Luke and I and the other mentors in the platform, when we get on our one on one calls with them to be able to assist these people, it's not they're coming to us telling us they need to work on sales. It's us. Here's your health check. Here's your 6 heads of business. Here's your strength for each section. All right, today we need to work on this because this is a result. Needs to be healthy for this to be healthy. So it's going to be data based learning rather than what you think based learning.
My goodness, man. That
Mm.
is crazy. I think every builder in Australia should be on something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna
Honestly,
be cool.
I really do, man. Like, that is, man, you should become a developer, and
Oh,
a
look,
developer not in the sense of property, of technology, like technology for but you already do it. You're doing it and you're in there, which I think is even better actually. But you know what I mean? Like, because you're doing it in real life, in real time to actually improve your business and all the others that you work with. That is freaky, man. That is so cool. Unbelievable. And is that only available to Future Builder Co members?
we'll probably roll it out for future builder members for a small fee, and then we'll take it to the rest of the global market so everyone can have access.
Holy moly, God.
Yeah, because it won't just work for builders. You imagine any business that can have all of the data
I
in.
just thought that.
Obviously, with us, Luke spent quite a lot of time putting all of our training videos, every single transcript, every single Excel, PDF file, email template. So this thing actually has all of that information. So it's like a trained bot or however you want to explain it. So it's got all
Yeah.
of our information so it can actually give us answers based on data,
Boy.
rather than like a chat GPT that might be feeding from the entire internet,
Yeah.
like going fishing and you want to catch a marlin, you throw your rod in a pond that's just got marlin in it.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you're not
Yeah.
doing all the other shit. That's filtered
That's it. I love the analogy, mate.
fishing, mate. You got to bring fishing back into it.
You gotta bring me fishing back into it. I love
Um,
fishing. Oh, mate, that's unbelievable, Kyle. Absolutely phenomenal, mate. It's exactly what the industry needs. As I said, anytime you want me to hand over the keys to the Good Builder, it's yours, mate. I'll just walk away and just go do something else.
yeah.
But is there any other updates on your? When's your next? Do you do events with Future Builder Co? I know you do events with Future Builder Co, and you do them for your members. Do you do any for the public, like
Yeah.
a webinar to say, "Hey, this is who we are. This is what we do."
Yeah, so this year we're going to do more webinars. So we're about to do a New Zealand launch to push over there, but then we do things within Australia, like we've partnered up with Wonder Build and the V2E and Price a Plan and other companies that align with where we're going. There might be a 50 to 100 person workshop in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, for example. And so all of those
Yeah,
events
cool.
be open to anyone. And yeah,
Go along.
we're busy
Yeah,
guys.
well,
We're just trying to
yeah.
find.
No, it's cool. Well, when you've got when you have the dates, Kyle, please share them with us, mate. I'd love to support getting the message out there through our socials, bit our journos to write a bit of an article about you after this and what's coming up for the year for Kyle and team Zenetto and Future Builder Co. And mate, I honestly, yeah, you're doing so much for the industry, mate. We appreciate it, and I'm sure all the builders do too. Yeah, you do it in real life, and that's the coolest bit. That's what I was I've been watching, as I said, for a while and talked to a lot of these other guys and I'm not having digs or anything, but I'm just like, there's just really genuine guys that are doing it in real life and you're definitely one of them, mate. And the whole industry talks so highly of you actually when I know we barely, as I said, we barely know each other, but when we sort of announced that Kyle Zanetto is going to be on our panel at Sydney, I think it was the only reason we got an audience because we were about 2 months
No.
old. No, it was for real, man. We were 2 months old. No one you saw me at the beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
"You probably don't even know who we are right now, but, we're the Good Builder, and we started 2 months ago. But
That's how
this
every
is
journey
what we
starts.
do." And everyone was kinda like, "Okay, what's Kyle got to say?" And then I remember after the event, and I'm not, like, blowing you up, man, but I remember after the event, all the builders that were there we had a big crowd. It was cool because you were there. We had a big crowd, and then they all gravitated over to you, didn't they? It was
It was
cool,
a good
but it
thing.
was cool, man. Like, this
It
is why we
was.
do it.
It was awesome. It's just good to get people to come together and help each other. That's all we're
Yeah.
trying to do.
There were dudes that travelled to see you. I remember there were
Mm.
those 3 young builders, they travelled to come and see you speak, and that was cool.
I actually had them on a call last week.
Oh, did you? Good on them. I'm really happy about that. Like, they were asking me about it. They had no idea who I was, and they were asking me about it. I was like, "Yeah, he's over there. Go chat to him." And they were like, "Oh, yeah." And they were so keen. I remember them. I wanna get back in touch with them if you don't mind. Shoot over their details, Carl, because
Yeah. I'll make a
I
note.
remember they were so keen, young blokes, to be a good builders, and I was like, "Man, that is so cool." And what we just talked about, Kyle, in terms of what should a group or an individual builder, young guy, or any builder that's looking to, even if they're in business, but start a business, is do base camp. And I hope they're doing that, and they'll come out the other side better, man.
That's it. And I'm always here. Like I have so many people, I'm just like, here's my mobile. Give me a call. We'll jump on a Zoom, whether you're in Future Builder or not. Like, this is what it's all about.
You're a legend, man. Well, I have one more question because I know you're a busy man and we have one more minute, but this might take a bit longer. You know we're called the Good Builder here at the Good Builder. That doesn't even make sense. But what do you reckon makes a good builder, Carl?
It's funny. I was actually eating some toast this morning and I thought about that question. This is what I've come up with. So,
Okay.
to be a good builder, you need to become the full loaf of bread. You can't just be a single slice. So, by that, I mean you need to know how to manage relationships, how to run a business, how to track and interpret data, marketing, be a psychologist, all of that sort of stuff. So, all of these little slices are going to be something that turn you into a holistically good builder.
Yeah.
And then from my biggest learnings is that first slice of bread that is most important is your health. So don't do what I
Wow.
did in the past. Make sure that you're getting your water, your sleep, your personal time in the gym every single day. Because if you're running right, everything else will be good around you. When you're in the shit and you're stressed, you're just going to be firing off, making bad calls and bad decisions because you're anxious and rushed, and it's going to put you in a bad place. So my takeaway for this analogy is going to be become the full loaf of bread and you'll be a good builder. And that's it.
I love it, mate. And mate, absolutely. And you are the full loaf of bread. You are, mate.
From
Like this whole conversation, I actually didn't know that you knew this much. Like you blew me away the whole conversation. When you talked about websites, I was like, I probably couldn't describe it better than him. And I've got 20 years in the game. Mate, you are the full loaf of bread. And the other thing I loved about your answer is look after yourself. That's a
that's
huge
right.
one, guys. Like look after yourself, eh? Because when you're good, everything else is good. I think, we're all energy, all that sort of woo-woo stuff that I'm into. Mate, thank you so much, Kyle Zanetto. Man, I feel like I've ticked off something on the bucket list for the Good Builder having you on. But I want to have you back on if you don't mind. I'm putting you on the spot. You can say no live on camera if you want. But I'd love to have you back on, man, and those 3 blokes or whoever in your crew to talk about, what you guys do and also when you release the app. But you can be damn sure you'll be seeing Kyle back on, and you'll be hearing a bit from him through our socials, and we'll be spruiking all these events, and the link will be below for joining Future Builder guys. So once again, thank you very much, Kyle, for being an absolute legend for the industry, and just being an absolute weapon for this podcast, man. And I think a lot of people are going to listen to it, and they're going to listen to it because of you and not me. Woo!
Thanks, mate.
All right, Kyle. See you, mate. It's for real though.